of 12 tonight and decided that they were going to put on a play with only the tiniest of help from any adults. Since then, our productions have gotten bigger, and all of those students have graduated off. But what we are doing tonight wouldn't have happened without that early interest and desire. Orsino is in love with a noblewoman named Olivia, played by Mimi.
We've gotten into the tradition that once a year we put on a Shakespeare play. This is something that was completely brought up by the children, and it's something that is still completely driven by the children. I don't have to suggest it. They demand that we do it every year because it's something that they enjoy a lot. Instead of just sitting down and reading these words from a page, they can take this great piece of literature and they can interpret it. They can act out the funny scenes and hear people laugh. They can act out the angry scenes and scream at each other and have fun or get in a sword fight. They get to learn about the history while they're learning about the language, while they're creating pieces of art, while they're exploring acting and what it means to be speaking in front of people.
It's going to be a Shakespeare morning. It's going to be most likely a Shakespeare afternoon. Let's just be honest, it's going to be a Shakespeare week. I want to get you going on a variety of different projects, and then I'm going to be taking people aside to block some scenes. One thing that'll be important with this scene is, as is important with many scenes, but make sure that we're getting our lines out there slowly and we're really enunciating. Because if the audience doesn't get this little chunk, the following scenes are not going to make as much sense.
Yeah.
For instance, if they don't know that your character is wanted, they're not going to understand why you're getting arrested in Act 3, Scene 4. Maybe see if you can look as if you're looking around, because your character is going to be a little bit nervous at this point. You realize you could get arrested at any moment and thrown in jail. And so, while you're delivering this part of the line, maybe move a little bit around and look a little bit around as if you're trying to take in the scene. It's going to be, between 2.5 and 3 inches, because these are actually...
Are we going to fold this?
Well, wait a minute, no, because it's 8.5 by 11. We're folding up the 11 side. So how big would, if you did 11 divided by 3? That looks really nice. Now we also need an inside circle.
Right. Small circle?
A little bit smaller, and what I would do is think about how thick do we want our letters to be, kind of compare them to the other letters you've done, and then try and make sure that that thickness is the same the whole way around. Maria's been really interested to learn how to sew. And a couple of the projects that we have would be pretty simple beginning ones. Would you be interested at some point in showing her, kind of giving her an introductory presentation on how to do this?
We make a list of who we want to be, and Jason looks at it. You may not get the person you actually wanted to be. Yeah. But he kind of does it on your skill level. If you're a person, say, like me, because this is my first year, if you're a person like me and I kind of feeling like I could challenge myself, he gave me a bigger part.
It's one thing to be able to break down a large project and say they're learning this skill or they're learning that skill, they're learning about math or they're learning about history or they're learning about language. But one of the brilliant things about these larger projects that involve so many different areas of learning is you can't really encapsulate everything that it means to them and everything that they're taking from it. You can point at some of those things and say they're going to learn new vocabulary words, or they're going to learn public speaking. But at the same time, what they're learning is things that are much harder to quantify. They're learning to love doing a good job at a project. They're learning to come together with others and work to make something that's special to them. They're learning that Shakespeare is fun. They're learning that learning is an enjoyable and fun experience that people get together and they do as a group. And those lessons are not things, I think, that children oftentimes get to take a part in traditional educational settings. And they mean a whole lot because those are things that they'll take with them out of the classroom.
I've just had fun working with different people because every year there's, this year it's Dexter's first time being in the play, it's Maria and Eric and Benjamin's first time being in the play. I said Dexter. and I just get to be with different people. I get to understand different people's view on things.
You gotta keep yourself focused, and you always have to know what is it that I'm gonna do next, okay? Remember, if there was an imaginary Jason that came up and talked to you and said, what are you gonna do next? You're always gonna have the answer to that, okay? Whether it's getting a prop ready, whether it's an entrance that you need to make, whatever it is, we gotta be ready to do that, yeah? Break a leg, everybody.